Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Passionate Piscator with me, Steve. Today is, well, it's a terrible day for fishing. It's blowing a gale, it's pouring with rain, but it's only just stopped raining. It's been hammering it down. And today for me, it's going to be all about just catching fish, I think. Just get some fish in the net and enjoy what I can of a day's fishing. Now they always say, don't they, that there's no such thing as a bad day's fishing, but with weather like this, it's going to be an interesting one. The water's extremely choppy, it's going to be raining, it's going to be blowing a gale, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, my main task for today is just to get some fish. So let's see how I get on, shall we? So the main problem I'm going to continuously have today is the weather. It's raining one minute, it's blowing a gale the next, and it's probably bad enough on the microphone as it is most of the time. What it's going to end up like, I don't know. It was a much better day the other day when I was out fishing. But if you're not out having a go, but you're not actually going to catch any fish, are you? That's the main thing. Yeah, so keep going through it. Keep your old waterproof jacket on, keep the hoods up, keep on fishing. Oh, I just missed a bite. The fish are biting. It's not very strongly or not very boldly, but they are biting. So I've returned back to a swim. I fished very recently here at Ashmoor Lakes. Mostly because when I last fished it, I don't think it fished very well. I didn't have a lot of time here. And this is a swim which really needs feeding up over a period of time to really get going. It'd be really good. So I'm doing that here today. I've got some maggots, I've got some worms. I'm going to trickle some maggots into the swim to see if we can get a few fish moving in. There's already bites happening, the float's in already, the maggots are on already, and the float's struggling a bit with the breeze on the surface, but, oh, just missed that one. I'm trouble missing fish, missed a lot of fish, perhaps they're just small ones. The problem I'm going to have today is the wind, definitely. You can see a bit of chop on the water now, but there's some big gales coming through, and it's just, the water surface is just going mad. Whoa, there you go. And I was just about to say, filming in the wind is awful. You can't hear anything on the microphone, the camera's wobbling about, and then, if I'm not holding onto the pole, which I am, that happens. And that's going to happen a lot today. I know it is. I've got to find, if I can get the right angle so the wind doesn't affect it too much, that would probably be great, but anyway, as I say, if you're not out trying, you're not out catching. So, God, here we go again. Must be a place I can put this without it blowing over. No? Good? No. So today, at Ashmoor, I'm hoping to catch some predatory fish. And the predatory fish here are the perch, and there are also some chub in here. They all happily shoot around eating all the small fish that are here, and they get quite big on it as well. And the perch here, you know, they push 3 pounds. Not that I've ever caught anyone near that size, but I've had a few £1.5 perch from here before, and it'd be nice to get a few more if I can today. And what inspired this, of course, is me fishing yesterday. Yesterday I went fishing with an everyday angler. We went down around some of the Reading and District Angling Association waters. I've never fished any of them before, so he took me on a little tour just to have a look at them. We took a pike rod with us, and we took a float rod with some worms and some maggots to try and catch some pike and catch some perch. We were really after catching some of the predators. However, the day didn't really go to plan. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Reading and District Angling Association's Farnham Flint Lake. I'm here today with an everyday angler, and we are attempting to catch a pike or a perch or something predatory like that. We'll see how it goes. It's pouring with rain now, so that's great. It's meant to be pouring rain all day, so we'll see how that affects the fish or affects us. But I've got a pike float out now with a mackerel on the end. What have you got? Mackerel and a roach. Mackerel and a roach. So we've got a few traps out, so we're hoping to spend a bit of time in this swim, move around to a few other swims and see what we can find. But if we don't get anything, we're going to travel around and hunt down a few fish from a few other places that Aaron knows could hold a few fish. Right, well, we spent how long have we spent here? 2-3 hours here, moving along from different swims, jumping from one to the next and trying all the different areas. We've been fishing the same swims so we can get full coverage of the swims. We've had 3 pike rods out and getting the full area, one out far, a couple in the margins, some under some trees, and we haven't had a sniff, not a single sniff. Well, that's not entirely true. The floats have been bobbing around a bit enticingly, which we think maybe other small fish or if there's any crayfish, something like that. But no actual bites and no actual takes. But we're on the ticket for the Reading and District Angling Association, and they have tons of waters, so we're going to move along to another one of theirs and see what we can find there. Perhaps not for a pike, perhaps for a perch or something like that next. We're not entirely sure. I think next on the cards might be getting a little bit of food, because neither of us have food and we do like to eat. And then, yeah, perhaps sneak along and see if we can find a perch or two. We've got some worms, do a bit of float fishing, and maybe consider pike later on if we think there might be a place where we can get some. But it's been really nice. The rain stopped now, but it has been sort of drizzling a bit. But despite that, it's been really nice, really peaceful. Lots of wildlife to watch. But now we're going to reel in and get moving. Right, ladies and gents, we've done a bit of moving around. We went up to a lovely bit of canal that Aaron knows on the Reading and District Angling Association tickets, and when we got there was a fishing match there. This was at Froxfield, and so we couldn't actually fish on the canal, not for miles, because there were a lot of people. So we've moved back nearer towards Aldermaston, on a section of the Kennet and Avon Canal, which you can see here, which just goes past, it comes off, that's the River Kennet going through there. It just comes off of the river and into the canal. This is the Salmon cut, and to be honest, I've always wanted to fish it. Not that I've ever joined the RDAA waters to do so, but it's nice to be on a guest ticket with Aaron and be able to fish it, because it's apparently, or it used to be apparently, very good for perch and trout and all sorts of river fish. So I'm hoping a few perch. I brought my pike rod with me, which I was using at the other venue, but I'm going to set up a float rod as well with a worm on, see if I can get a nice perch or something like that to come and nibble. Because it's been a little bit of a journey to get here. We've lost quite a lot of time travelling to get here, so we're going to make them full use of all the time we have here. But it's a lovely little section there, nice little bay area for me to cast into. Mackerel on the hook, worm on the hook. Let's see how it goes. What could possibly go wrong? It's not raining now, it's been tipping it down on the journey here, so we've either missed the rain or it's on its way. I reckon it's one of those two. It can't have gone, that's for sure. But Aaron's got a lure rod out. He's just down there just before the sign. I think we're not allowed to fish the other side of that, but he's just going to jig around for any pike and perch you can find and keep mobile, whereas I'm going to be more sedentary now, I think, and fish that bay area, move a bait around in there and see what I can get. Finally set up. Well, I say finally. I've hit upon an unexpected snag at about 4 o'clock in the morning. This morning I woke up and I had something in my eye. Don't know what it was, a bit of grit or dirt or something. And I spent a bit of time trying to wash it out because it was really painful. And it turns out it may have done a bit of damage to it. Because instead of seeing one hook to put the line through the eye of the hook, I could see 3. One in the middle, one at the top and one at the bottom. And I know you should aim for the middle, but it's trickier than it sounds when it's so small. Oh. Have the rod. No, no. But I'm finally fishing. Oops. Got a worm on a float rod. It's quite deep. And there's a little bit of tow because it's right next to the river here. So I've opted for a stick float, just so it can drift through a little bit. I've plumbed the depth and it's just above depth, so it should just coast along the bottom. No nibbles as yet, but it's only a matter of time, I hope. Got a pike rod out as well, just to see if there's any pike about. You never know. Aaron's been getting some bumps on his lure rod and produced a little perch. So there are fish about. We just got to find them. And now I've set everything up. Hopefully I won't need to tie another hook, because that took overly long. We've moved along from the bit where the Kennet goes past the canal itself, mostly because the wind has really picked up. You can see the chop on the water here. It just came on all of a sudden. And to be honest, there wasn't a lot happening down there. It may look like I'm moving along the canal here, which I am, like lure fishing, like Aaron behind me. But actually I'm just floating my stick float through this fast-paced windy water, covering quite a bit of ground actually, so it might swing past a little perch or something on the way through. To be honest, I'm not holding out much hope for today. For some reason, recently, all the rivers and canals and fishing lakes have just been really out of sorts. It's been really hard to catch fish on any of them. Whether it's the pressure of the air or weather, or I don't know. If it was just one venue, you'd think, oh, perhaps it's just a venue. But it's been a lot of places. A lot of the River Avon in Bristol has been hard to fish, hard to get a fish out of at all. Even Ashmoor Lakes, it's been tricky. that's packed full of fish. And there's plenty of fish here in the Kennet and Avon, but it's just not happening. You had any nibbles?
No, it's got what's happening with the wind.
The wind is really...
The undertow was really bad, so it's just dragging the law around all over the place.
Nip one pearl too. I'm just trotting a canal in the wind. There's no flow, it's just the wind. Yeah, so it's been tricky going. What I might do is just pull that back up and trot down in the margins a little bit. There we go. That's better. But you'd think, I mean, Aaron caught a little perch earlier. You'd think there'd be a few little tiddly perch, wouldn't you? Especially if I've got a worm on, he's got a lure on. Can't miss. But today, they're just not really up for it. Never mind, it's been really nice. I've enjoyed being out here, being blown about by the wind. And a day by a river or a canal or a lake is never a day wasted. Always learning, especially these new venues which I've never fished before. And you know, being out in nature and wildlife is always better than not being out in nature and wildlife, I always think. It's been nice to get a little bite, just a little scrapper, a little something. Well, at least I'm out of the wind underneath the bridge. Well, not underneath the bridge, but by the bridge. Just trying to keep the float as still as I can, but the water's just not having. Oh, hello. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Keep away from that float. Do not. I would like to catch something. I do not want it to be a swan. They've gone through. They've gone through. Right. What I want to do is drop this float just through the margins. Cover a bit of water with it. Surely something's going to want a little worm. Who wouldn't? Yeah, so as you can see, it didn't really go to plan. Aaron was the only person to have caught fish all day, and yeah, that's just fishing for you, isn't it? You don't always catch fish, but it was still really, really enjoyable and a lovely day out with him. But it was still in our minds thinking, oh, we'd really love to catch some nice predatory fish. Where can we go to target some? And of course, on the doorstep at the moment, because I'm staying with my parents, is Ashmoor Lakes. And I know I fish here a lot, but it's the perfect place to come. It's particularly on a day like today where it's dreary and chilly and cold. Oh, what have I got here? Dreary and chilly and cold and windy and rainy. You can batten down the hatches here. And this isn't a predatory fish. Well, again, not in the sense that this is usually the prey of the perch. A nice little roach. Perch love to eat roach, particularly when they're fried. Let me find my disgorger. It's here somewhere. There we go. No pink one, but you know, lost that. But I've got a nice red one. Disgorge that. Nice little roach. Lovely. Yeah, so today we're here trying to catch a few perch. And there are plenty in here, plenty of perch. They go up to about, well, they go beyond £3 now in weight. It'd be lovely to catch one that size, wouldn't it? Oh, I've caught plenty here of about £1.5, perhaps coming up to £2, but never one of £3. That would be amazing. But any perch of any size on it, and when the weather's like this, would be really good. Not that I'm unhappy if I catch any of the other species which are here, the roach or the rudd or the carp or the bream, all the other things, barbel, you know, anything's possible here, except the pike, of course. There's no pike in Ashmoor Lakes that we know of. Let's pop that back in a position. Lovely. Oh, look at that. Just I was going on about the weather being horrendous here. It's just started to rain. Fantastic. Anyway, I'm float fishing in the margin with a few maggots. At the moment, I'm just going to see what fish turn up. perhaps if the more predatory fish come in, I'm going to put a big worm on and see if I can pick off a bigger perch maybe. But I'm happy for anything today, if I'm honest. So just to get the bites back up, you come to a fishery where the bites are happening. As you can see by the wobbling of the camera, the wind has picked up as well. It's going to be like this all day, rain and wind. It's going to be really hard to fish today. The float's all over the place, I can't keep it still. I may have to go onto the bottom later on, put a weight on to keep the bait still. The camera's wobbling around, you probably can't hear me because of the wind blowing through the microphone. It's going to be a mad one today. You have to be mad to be able to day like today, but luckily enough, I'm exactly the correct amount of mad. Oh, of course, no matter what you do, the carp will always show up. Even when you're fishing with just like a couple of red maggots on. Oh, they do beat up on this light here. And the wind still blows. So filming is near impossible at the same time. But adds to the joy and excitement. It's been the craziest session. Fishing in this wind. It's just never ending. You're trying to film and catch and oh dear. But if the camera goes, the camera goes. Phones can be replaced. But a fish, you know, that's got to come in, isn't it? That's got to come in. The most important thing is a fish. Hooray! And he's in. Let's see if this will stay up in the wind so I can show you. Oh, come on, boy. Oh. This is a fair old fish. Didn't think it was that big. Move the camera a little bit and hopefully the wind won't take it out. That's all. Tie it down a bit. Whoa! I don't know, we'll see. Anyway. Come on, baby. Now it's putting up a fight. Coming like a sack of spuds. Alright, come on. Come on. Come on. Right, it's just suspended in the net. Nothing's going to hurt him here. If he jumps or falls, he'll go back into the net and be absolutely safe. There we go. Look at that. Lovely great big carp. Or just a little maggot. Beautiful fish. The camera's going to go again. I can see it's flowing. Let's get this fish back in the water and hunker down and keep on angling. Lovely. Just had a bit of a move round from that swim, which is just over there, mostly because the wind was just knocking everything about and howling. I've got the wind to my back now, which is much more comfortable when you're fishing in this sort of weather. The camera's still wobbling up mad, and unfortunately, if this camera does go over now, it's going that way, and it's going into the drink, so I need to be super careful now. But it's much more comfortable having the wind to your back. I can put my hood up if it does get really blustery, windy or rainy, and I can hopefully be a bit more comfortable when fishing. I've got a friend who's joined me today just now. That person right there is an everyday angler, Aaron Chuck. He's just joined me, so hopefully he'll be into some fish, I'll be into some fish, and despite the horrendous weather, we will continue to catch some lovely, lovely fish from here, and possibly a few nice perch, or a few nice barbel. A chap across the other side there, he just had a barbel out, despite the bad weather. He didn't weigh it, but it must have been about £6 looking at it. So it was a good fish. I hope to have one of them. That'd be amazing. But anyway, I'm going to feed this swim up, start from scratch, feed the swim up, and see what fish I can draw into here. Hopefully, lots of them. Well, moving swims is producing a few more perch. However, they're all little tiny scrappers like this. Now, perch this size, to match men, they give them a nickname. There he is. They call them wasps because of the little stripes. And a match man, we were very happy with that because even the smallest fish can help you win a match if you're in a competition. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with this little fish too. Back when I was younger, I will admit, I used to just catch little ones like this and pop them back. But I do take more time now, perhaps in my old age, who knows, to really look at a little teeny tiny perch like this one and appreciate just every single fish. And this little tiny thing might grow up to be a big, like 3-pounder at some point. So it's always worth giving him a little kiss. Please grow up to be a 3-pounder, survive, and come and see me another day. Whee! Off you go. Story of my life. Everyone leaves me in the end. Aaron's suddenly remembered that he had a food delivery turning up at midday, 12 o'clock. Well, he didn't suddenly remember, his wife did. Aaron doesn't remember anything. He'll attest to that. So he's had to do a bit of a runner. But he's had a few little fish. You know, similar to what I've had. But no, he's left me. I'm all on my own. Well, all on my own, except for me and the fish, of